This lesson is going to cover the elements of nonfiction. To start, we need to understand what a nonfiction text is. Nonfiction is a form of literature based primarily on facts. It is writing that presents ideas or informs readers about real people, places, objects, or events. It is important to really evaluate nonfiction because just because it is real doesn't mean that the information isn't biased or skewed to fit the author's purpose. There are many different types of nonfiction. There's biographies, autobiographies, journals and diaries, essays and articles, speeches and letters, as well as informational texts. All of those types of nonfiction have or use the following nonfiction elements. They all have a purpose, structure, support, tone, and perspective. Being able to analyze a nonfiction text for these elements will allow you to better understand the text and determine if it is reliable. Let's start with understanding the nonfiction element of purpose. An author writes a nonfiction text for one of the following purposes. It's either to inform or teach the reader new facts, ideas, procedures. It's to entertain about a specific subject. It's possibly to persuade readers to act or think a certain way. Or lastly, it could be to reflect on events or experiences. Let's watch this video together to learn a little more about each purpose.
Finding author's purpose. Why is the author writing this story? It can be as easy as P-I-E, pie. After reading the text, we have to ask ourselves certain questions about the text. Author's purpose is why the author wrote the story. He might have written it to persuade us, inform us, or even just entertain us. We have to look for clues in the story. Author's purpose. I need to ask myself, did the author try to change my opinion? Did the author try to convince me of something? If so, he was trying to persuade me. Author's purpose. Did the author give me facts? Did the author try to teach me something? If so, he was trying to inform me of good information. And lastly, I need to ask, did the author try to make me laugh? Did the author try to tell me a story? If so, he was looking to entertain me. Let's eat pie by looking at the author's purpose in our story.
Created using Powtoon.
The next element is structure. This can help you determine the author's purpose and main idea. Nonfiction texts are commonly structured in 4 ways. They can be in sequential order, where the events or items are listed in numerical or chronological order. It can be compare and contrast, where they explain how 2 or more events are alike and different. It can be cause and effect, where they present the ideas or the event that was the cause and then the resulting effects that happened because of it. Or they can be problem solution, where a problem is given and then one or more solutions to that problem are provided. Another important, and in my opinion, most important element of nonfiction is support. No matter what the author's purpose is, he or she must use support to achieve their writing goal. Examples of support include personal experiences, scientific facts, research, surveys and polls, or statements. Support can be objective or subjective. Objective support is based on fact and is much more reliable. Subjective support is based on opinion and is not quite accurate at times. When evaluating evidence, you need to look for problems or flaws to make sure that you are properly evaluating the argument. Those flaws could be bias, which is when the author unfairly favors one thing over another. It could be a preconceived attitude, where the author's idea or opinions are formed before having evidence of the truth, or it could be an issue of reliability. You need to determine whether the evidence and the source can be trusted. Once you have determined the purpose, structure, and support, you can identify the author's tone, their attitude towards his or her audience and/or subject. You need to pay close attention to the words the author uses to describe their main idea to help you do this. Once you've done that, here are some example words that you can use to describe an author's tone. The last nonfiction element you need to consider is the perspective. Who is presenting the information and how? By answering the following questions, you will be able to more easily determine the author's perspective and then determine and evaluate the reliability of the nonfiction text. So you need to ask, who is the author? What is the author's background with the subject? What is the author's relation to the subject? How is the author presenting this subject? And is the author knowledgeable and reliable? Once you do these things, you will have successfully evaluated a piece of nonfiction, going through all of the elements that put it together.